Alright guys, so it's me, Austin, here again, doing another one of those nature walking and talking type of videos. And I figure since the subject earlier today when we were hiking up in Michigan was love, I'd just go ahead and make a second part about that. Talking about things I miss about love, and then I think lessons that I learned from love. So with that being said, I want to talk about things that I miss about love. And I feel like I probably should have put this in the last video, but I was so focused on getting my point across about where I'm at with it. And yeah, it wasn't in the video, obviously, but I'll be open and say there's some things I do often miss about love. I think first and foremost, if done right, partnership, your partner kind of becomes a placeholder as one of your best friends, right? And one of my best mates I have in this world told me one time, he said, if you can't talk to your woman like how you talk to me, then you're with the wrong person. And I didn't get that at first, but as time went on, I started to understand more what he was getting at with that one. So just that whole aspect of having like a friend that loves you a little bit harder than a conventional best friend would, right? I think I just kind of miss the whole aspect of partnership when it's done right. It runs like a well-oiled machine. You guys know each other's quirks, what makes you guys tick and what doesn't. And, just on this merit alone, it's really good, I think, if it's with the right person, because you kind of have a pep talk, greatest ally, all in one. So I think in summary, like, the things I miss most about love would be like just the sense of partnership, the sense that you're on a team, the stupid little inside jokes you make with someone, just like the cheesy gobbledygook like that I kind of miss. But I think it would be interesting to kind of go case by case, lessons that I've learned from love. So I think I'll start a little bit earlier than my marriage, because I think there's important lessons there as well. So I'll rewind this all the way like 11 years ago. I was 16. I was a sophomore in high school, and I had the biggest crush on this freshman that I was pretty sure had a crush on me, right? Only issue with that was pretty much the fact that I had horrible social anxiety, and the weird stuff I used to put myself through, I had a crush on this girl from the age of 16 till right before my senior year. So, a good year and a half. Never uttered a single word to this woman. So I think that crush kind of taught me like the principles of dating and love, like, you know, kind of just a classic saying, like, you kind of got to go get what you want. And, you know, it's very true. I think the next thing, I had this bizarre friendship / crush on someone for most of my late teenage years going into my early 20s. It's someone I met through someone that I met through someone. Should have never happened, right? Just a chance meeting, and I had like a long distance friendship with them, which wasn't really too long distance. They only lived a couple hours away. But, you know, I was head over heels for this girl. This girl was gorgeous, you know. But at the same time, you know, I just chalk it up. I don't have any bad blood. I still talk to him to this day. But that person used to be really mean to me, right? At times. And I think what it taught me in that time was to, you know, kind of value myself a little bit, have some self-dignity, some self-respect. It goes a long way. And other people, I do think, respect you more when you respect yourself. Now, I want to make it known that in my eyes, respecting yourself has nothing to do with modesty. So I'm not coming at it from that angle. Just want to shut anything down before it potentially erupts, right? Now, my first proper relationship, that's an interesting tale. And that started in the summer of 2017. I was 20 years old. And this girl that I went to high school with and was going to school with since like 5th grade had messaged me on Facebook. And we talked and then kind of fell out and kind of got back into contact that same fall of that same year, I mean. Then eventually they moved back up and yada yada. We got together, got married. Kind of went to shit pretty quick after that point. But that one taught me a lot of valuable lessons. I think a big one was finding my voice. I was never a big person, well known for like speaking up for myself or setting boundaries or you know, just, you know, for firmness, right? And being with that person, you know, they directly taught me how to be like that. And they kind of coached me through situations themselves, but inevitably I had to put those skills to the test when we ended up deciding we were pursuing a divorce, right? And I had to display a lot of mastery of skills in those following months before the divorce, but after me moving out, knowing when to pick my battles and knowing when to respond and when not to, and knowing when to set firm boundaries. And I think I passed that test at that point in time. Indiana and these beautiful groves of aspen trees. Holy hell. Well, some of these are maples. Actually, a lot of these are maples. Don't listen to me. I'm a moron. But I think it also taught me the importance of being on top of finances. It taught me the basic building blocks of... It gave me an idea of what functional adult life could be like, right? Because it was a very dysfunctional relationship, and it was not good most of the time. And sure, we may have had an apartment together, but it was not a good time in there. other than that, there wasn't too much else to glean from that one. I think the only lesson was to really take a good gander at the people that you are interested in dating, and this will be a recurring theme. My second relationship was the one that totally and utterly eviscerated and destroyed me once we broke up. That is the one that broke up with me when I had COVID. And there was a moment there I thought I was going to be homeless after I, was out of the quarantine period of COVID. But that person, they taught me a lot of valuable lessons too, I learned surprisingly a lot about living life with struggles from that person. I found their guerrilla approach to life was really interesting. And it's a practice I still hold on to this day. They taught me a lot about repurposing glass containers and jars. You can reuse bottles, how to dechlorinate tap water. All stuff I still do to this day. Make no bones about it. So that was a treasure trove of information that I forever feel lucky that I got. But not only that, they taught me a lot about not giving up on my dreams, being kind to myself, not giving up, but also being kind to my body and not overworking myself. And that connection gave me a better idea of what a well-structured and functional housing unit could be in my adult life. But again, that connection was mired by crazy events, and that ultimately ended in us breaking up, right? And that was a long time to get over that. Wow, someone chopped the hell out of this grapevine, just hanging. And I had to heal a lot of stuff that I didn't realize that I was not being proactive about. I think there was a time I pretty much knew and could not kind of escape the label, but I definitely knew very early on to living alone in this apartment that I'm living in currently that I definitely had some latent codependency issues that I had to address. And it was weird, and I've talked to people in private about this because for a long time I was alone for most of high school and most of my early 20s, where I was not in a relationship. I was alone. And I didn't seem to mind it. Now granted, I didn't know what the attention of a female felt like before then, to any significant degree at least. And yeah. But I knew pretty quickly on I did not like being alone, and I needed to fix that. It took a long time to heal that wound. Months and months and months. And, I had to really take my time with that one. It was a rough one to get over. I've already said the whole story, but the getting over process kind of got really complicated for a long time. And then I'm just gonna chill by this tree and finish this video. But anyhow, I think that it was a long time coming, and I really had to focus on getting better. But it took a lot of guts. I had to do a lot of things I wasn't used to doing. Like, at a point in my life, I had to be strong and turn the mirror inward on myself and really see the things that I was embarrassed to look at on my end in that failed connection. I had very strange lifelike dreams starring that ex. After I had moved out of their living space entirely. It wasn't a fun time. I had to learn to entertain myself. I put myself in this weird headspace for a long time because I had this sneaking suspicion that even though they blocked me on everything, they were still snooping on my stuff and trying to do this proxy stuff. And it was more obvious at times than others. There would be an obvious targeted Instagram post, or there'd be a TikTok video, totally besmirching the vague identity of myself that they put out there. And it was hard, I really had to put a lot of values that I thought I mastered to the test in that moment. Picking my battles and not being cutthroat. And that was hard. It's hard. That person was always big about talking about me having a lot of pride, and I'll give it to him. In a situation like that, you have to swallow a lot of pride. And it would cause more anger and frustration until I finally turned the mirror in on myself. Then I felt sad still for a long, long time. And then I had to eventually experience life in the position that my ex was in, but definitely less intense. So I just wanted to chill out by this disc golf hoop. So it was March, and I was dating someone nearly for 7 months at this point. And I just knew it wasn't working for me, Nothing against the person. They're a terrific person. It just wasn't a good person for me. And I'm saying that as someone who identified that by myself. Nobody told me to. This is all a personal choice I made, right? And it was terrifying, but probably from the middle of January to March, I started having worrying thoughts that perhaps this connection with this individual wasn't going to work out, right? And I started leaning more and more and more and more and more and more that way as the weeks progressed from that point on. So I broke up with them finally. Like I've described it to people, it's kind of the same level of anticipation and dread is kind of what I imagine the ending for the characters of Mice and Men would be like, right before the gunshot, you know. And it was rough, but I didn't feel bad about it for too long. I just felt bad because I knew that person really liked me and enjoyed my company. But I knew that it wasn't going to be a connection that I could see myself being a part in for long term, you know. But it taught me the importance of putting yourself first, and I think I had to go through the experience of that third relationship to finally get the final key of the puzzle for the second one. And coming from a person who prior to that moment never had broken up with someone, you know, it is different. And I plan to talk about those differences in the future, but it's a different experience. But I think at the end of the day, I'm glad I got all the lessons I got out of it, you know. So I'm gonna wrap my video up now because I'm approaching the public at large again, and I really have nothing more to say. So peace out.